Oh my goodness. Did not the shills come out? And the black pills were being thrown around after. Oh my God, Donald Trump's a 37,000 degree Mason. I told you he's just sold out to the deep state. He's told everybody to get the poke. We're all going to die. First, let me ask you a question. Do you know that Q never talked about the 33 degree Mason stuff or the chemtrails or the aliens or any of that? That's actually anons or interpretations or side stuff or Telegram pages or Twitter accounts or YouTube stuff. Yeah, how are those guys that are ranting this stuff talking about Donald Trump is how are they still on YouTube when I can't even go on YouTube and say Omicron without getting kicked off? I'm not going to get into debunking the chemtrails. Are they putting chemicals in the air? It's absolutely possible. Would you see it if they were? Hell no, you wouldn't. Those, you know how much it would take to go from horizon to horizon to make that little cloud that comes out of the exhaust of those airplanes? You know how much chemical that would take for you to see that? Do you know they can dump the entire contents of a KC-135 tanker in 60 seconds and you would never see it and it would never touch the ground? I'm just pointing something out. Do you know who isn't a 33,000 degree Mason? Hillary Clinton. So therefore she's not evil, right? Sorry, but somebody touched a nerve on me. I'm going to let it out. There is 100% a PSYOP campaign going on in the QAnon conspiracy pages, not the Q pages and not a lot of the Anon pages, but in the QAnon ones, the ones that got 20,000 people to show up to Dallas or a month or so ago, waiting for JFK Jr. and Michael Jackson to come back to life. Those ones. You see, you all are busy chasing the 30,000 degree Masons, and you all are busy chasing the oh goodness gracious, they're spraying the clouds again today. And you all are too busy chasing the aliens are coming, or you're too busy chasing all of these. I've done my research. I've went down the rabbit hole. Yes, you did. You are so busy chasing that you're not asking the obvious questions. Like number one, who is running Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Mike Obama, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Klaus Schwab, George Soros? That's right. Who's running them? They're not the ones. Listen to what I'm saying to you. They are the front men. They're not the one. How is it that one investment company, privately owned, so we don't know who owns this company? How is it that this one company controls the majority of most of the stock in every corporation on this planet? How you're too busy chasing the 33,000 degree Mason, which is what they want you to do, instead of looking at the reality of what's going on. And let me ask you, why don't I chase it? Why don't I bring that stuff up? Why ain't I on here like some of my good friends? Donald Trump's coming back next week, next month, next year. Oh, I've got some deep intel stuff coming from a highly source. I got sources sending me stuff all the time that I don't bring up. You know why? Let me tell you why. Because I don't listen to the QAnons. No, I listen to the prophetic. I listen to the Holy Spirit within me. And when I look at this other stuff and I say, that's a distraction, that is something, we need to be focused here and that's over there. May it be true? Could they be spraying chemicals over the cities to kill us? It's possible. You wouldn't know it if they did. Could they be putting crap in the water? Sure. Sure. Could all of these people be dead and they're clones? I've seen that movie. Not likely, but I guess it could happen. Everybody's got little plastic masks on. Well, it's pretty some weird stuff. Is there a bunch of green screens? I don't know. The executive building across the street seems to have them. But that's not the point. You're missing it. You're chasing the psyop. You need to stay with the facts. Look at things as they are. Understand what's going on. There's a bunch of quackpot stuff out there on the right and on the left intentionally to muddy the waters. They want you out there chasing the clouds. They want you out there chasing the 33,000 degree Masons. They want you out there chasing all this other BS so that you don't focus on what's really going on. An elite group of Luciferian cultists who worship Baal and have a sacrament of killing children, whether they drink their blood or not. A very small group of probably less than 3,000 people around the world are trying to impose a commo-fascist Chinese-like government system on the world. And you guys are falling right for it. That's the problem. I know I'm probably pissing some of you off now because you've got your little thing that you love. But I'm here to tell you that all those things get you away from the reality of it. I focus on the prophetic and I focus on what God is telling me. And when I see this stuff happening, and I look at it and say, you know, it's a distraction, then I don't talk about that stuff. And the perfect example of it is the chemtrail crap. Could airplanes be flying over cities spraying stuff? Yes, absolutely. In fact, there are documents, government documents saying they did do that stuff. But when you see those clouds in the sky coming from the airplanes, those are contrails, not chemtrails. An airplane could not carry enough chemical to do that. That's not it. And if they did this stuff, they wouldn't let you know, and they'd do it at night so you couldn't see it. They do it in atmospheric conditions that wouldn't form the trails. How come some days there's no trails when some days there is? Oh, that's because that's the days they're spraying. No, it's because the atmospheric condition doesn't allow them hundreds and thousands of aircrafts that are flying every single day, whether you see them or not, to produce them. It's called, follow the science. I learned that in high school. Contrails, not comtrails, contrails. Contrails are condensation trails. The heat of the engines and the atmospheric conditions are right. Just like when you watch, you know how they found the B-17 bombers, how the Germans found the B-17 bombers as they flew over Germany, how they located them? With the contrails. You could follow them as they came in. So I post Robin Bullock's deal about, and I do my prayer. Robin Bullock said to pray for the president. I do my prayer and I post it. And people on there telling me that Trump's a 30,000 degree Mason and he's sold us out and he's just, oh my gosh. So I got a question for you. Trump's deep state, Trump was a plant to keep us from rising up. You know, I had a guy several months ago, he kept sending me messages. You need to tell the people we got to rise up. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know what he did? Told me to F off and never message me again. So if Donald Trump is a sellout, if Donald Trump is a deep state shill plant designed to distract us, as you look at the distractions designed to distract us, I ask you a question. If not Trump, who? Who? DeSantis? Oh, well, he'll be a deep state shield too. Cruz? You mean like the day after Nancy Pelosi got the gavel in 2017 or 18, whenever it was? Ted Cruz, I love Ted Cruz, came out and introduced every red meat bill, Republican bill that you could put into the Senate. Every one of them. Term limits, several constitutional amendments, balanced budget amendments, all this stuff. He put them in there when they would never have a chance in hell to pass. Why didn't he do them the 2 years before? When you had the House, you had the Senate, you had the presidency. Why didn't you do them then? Because they don't want to. They don't want to. They want to keep the game going. So Ted Cruz, is that your man? Oh, I know. It's Dan Crenshaw, the guy with one eye. You know what I'm talking about. You know, who was on George Soros's Future Leader of America's panels back when he was a kid. That Dan Crenshaw, that's who will get in there. He'll be our president. If not Trump, who? Tell me. I'm not saying Trump's perfect, and God knows that if you watch my show, I have said all along, Trump's not saving us, the military's not saving us, God is saving us. But I ask you a question again to you shills out there who say he's a 30,000 degree Mason, that he's an alien from planet Zoltar, and he's come down with lizard people skin underneath his Edgar suit. You people, if not Trump, who? Who could take it like he did? Who could stand up like he did? Who could put up with all this bull crap? I'll tell you another great guy, Eric Greitens. Eric Greitens here in Missouri became our governor. He went out there and just rip-roaring right through there. Immediately when he got in there, he started passing all kinds of Republican, red meat, conservative, beautiful stuff. Oh, Ron Paul. Yeah, we'll get to Ron Paul in a second. Beautiful stuff here in Missouri. And what they do to him, they went after him just like they did Trump. The difference is he wasn't a billionaire. He went broke and he had to resign. So if not the billionaire Trump with skin as thick as an Abrams tank and his heart as big as an aircraft carrier, if not him, who? Oh, Ron Paul, somebody says. Yeah, Ron Paul, who would talk about balanced budgets while adding earmarks to everything. Well, like, this is how the game is played, and I got to have it for my state. Sell out. Josh Hawley's a great guy. But could he withstand the arrows that Trump has took without going broke? Could he withstand the lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit to go after his taxes? No, he couldn't. He's not a billionaire. He's not even a millionaire. So if not Trump, who? So I also have to ask you, you've been watching my show, you're on my channel, you're mouthing off to me, you're mouthing off to the people that follow me. Do you not believe in the prophets? Do you not believe in the word of God? Do you not believe when Kim Clement called him out by name years before he got there? Do you not believe that there was a prophet in Israel? They called him the praying American. He went from Catholic church to Catholic church to Catholic church to Catholic church praying. He was a World War II and Korean veteran. This is a true story. And in the early 80s, he said Donald Trump was going to change the world for Christ. That's weird. Do you not believe what God had to say through his prophets, through what Kim Clement and Hank Kunneman and Robin Bullock and Amanda Grace and Kent Christmas and Copeland and I don't know, zillions of just flip it on, type in the prophecies, they'll pop up. Some of them are old. Some of them are years ago. But no. Nope, he's a 30,000 degree Mason, and they're Luciferians and blah, 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 blah. And while you're chasing Masons conspiracies around, oh, look, there's this symbol in DC. Oh my gosh, there's this symbol on this monument. And you're chasing symbols, and you're chasing this, and you're chasing that. These people are consolidating power in the background while you're not looking. Again, I ask the question, who is running the Clintons, the Gates, George Soros, Epstein? Who ran Epstein? Where did Epstein get all his money? Who is running these people? They're not the ones in the front. The ones that are out on TV, the ones that are making the stink and the noise, those are the peons. Those are second tier or third tier. Who's the top tier? That's the question you need to ask yourself. I'm not asking you to believe in Trump. Not at all. I'm asking you to grow some discernment. Pray to seek God's wisdom and counsel in this and let him decide. That's what I'm asking you. I believe what I believe because it has been given to me by God. I will stand on that if I'm the last one to believe it. It makes no difference what anybody else believes. If God told me personally, through reading of his word, through inspiration, through discernment, then I have to stand on that. I don't have any other choice. I'm sick and tired of you black pillars out. Do black pills taste like licorice? I want to know. Just interested. Every time Donald Trump does something you think he should do, doesn't do something you think he should do, or does something you think he shouldn't do, oh, he's out there telling everybody, get the pokey doke. You know, there's some polls on some of the big channels I follow with hundreds of thousands of followers that said, did Donald Trump influence you to get the poke? It's like 99% no, because he ain't talking to us. You guys got to see what's going on here. So, this is from The Storm Has Arrived 17. He says, I understand that everyone is upset about Trump canceling his January 6th press conference. How do you think they feel? Meaning them, the other side. This is a classic Trump. He just trolled them so hard. The fake news already had their stories written, ready to drag POTUS 45 through the mud. Now they're scrambling. Joe Biden and the Dems are going to look like complete morons putting on their little show on Thursday. Without Trump holding his own presser, the whole world knows their narrative is falling apart. And Trump just stood on it and shattered it to pieces. Now, let me ask you a question. I've said this before. Everybody right now, pause what you're doing. Grab your thinking caps and put them on. Okay, we're gonna take off our conspiracy theory caps, and we're gonna put on our thinking caps. You ready? Everybody got their thinking cap on? We'll give you a second. Do you remember that right after Christmas last year, before January 6th, Donald Trump, who could get 60,000 people to show up to an airport in the middle of winter, freezing cold, on 3 days' notice, and knowing that all of these things are pre-planned anyways, because according to Dan Bongino, that's the way the Secret Service works. Then right after Christmas, he said he's going to have a big rally on January 6th. Do you remember that? Giving them a couple weeks to prepare. Do you remember that? I remember that. Okay. And then it happened. Now, for the last year, every time Donald Trump went somewhere or did something, did he announce it in advance, or did you have 3 or 4 days notice? 3 or 4 days notice, right? And he'd still get 50,000, 60,000 people to show up, right? I mean, he showed up and preached. He spoke at that church down in Dallas here the other day, and that wasn't even announced. Yet he announces before Christmas that he'll be having a press conference on January 6th. And everybody went, woo! Oh my God, it's happening. Donald Trump's coming back. Ah! And now you're upset at him because he canceled. Don't you see he did exactly what he did last year? And he's setting something up. But no, you got to throw him under the bus because you're mad because he didn't do it the way you wanted. Well, guess what, folks? You don't get to run this show. And he set these dudes up. I don't know what's coming of it. I don't know what's going to happen. But one thing I know for sure is Trump ain't no dummy. And he plays these people like a fiddle. I mean, he strings these. Back when he had his Twitter account and he was in the White House, I imagine him laying in bed. It's 4:00 in the morning, and he's laying in bed. And he's kind of getting his eyes open because he was an early riser. And he leans over to Melania, gives her a little peck on the cheek, and says, "I love you, honey. I'm going to screw with CNN." She goes, "Again?" You know how wives do. They roll their eyes. And he goes, boop, and boom, Rachel Maddow's blowing up. CNN can't stand it, right? I bet he got his jollies off of it. Able to play these guys like nothing else. And here you are. He's a 33,000 degree Mason. Oh, what a load of crap. Stop following those people. Stop following the shills that are sending you down all these. You got to go down the rabbit hole while you ignore the facts. You ignore the things that are right in front of your face. It's ridiculous.